right, guys, let's do it. Yes, let's do it. The kickoff. Yes, it's Arizona iced tea on the big show tonight. Let's do the kickoff of the TN80sR Power Hour. Yeah, the questions that you guys sent in. We're going to read them right off. We're going to go right through them all. Get them all answered up. And then if you like what you're seeing and you want to be on the channel, on the big show, on the TN80sR Power Hour, send question. Dogs bumping the camera. I can't come downstairs without the dogs following. Nobody's home. I got the house to myself. But the dogs are fighting in front of the camera and they bump it. And Missy's rubbing her bottom all over the carpet. I hope there's not residue on that bottom. I hope not. Anyway, if you want to be a part of the show, send the questions to me. The email is TN80sR questions@gmail.com. Link down there. First off, I've got a new tattoo. Just got it actually about an hour ago. Check it out. Yeah, it's 1984. What time is it? It's 1984. Love that digital font. So there we go. Little cheap 20-minute tattoo there. All right. Let's get to the questions. Let's hit them up. Where's my inbox? Let's hit that inbox. There we go. The Rampage Authentic Ring from Ringside Collectibles is available. The AEW Rampage Authentic Real Scale Ring. I might need to get that. That's nice. That might be on the old Christmas list for the children. Anyway. Where are they? Where's the questions? Where's the questions? Let's answer the questions. Here we go. From my main man, Gary Furr. Gary is a longtime friend of the channel. And pretty much has the record for commenting on, I think, every single video I've ever done. And so it's much appreciated. Gary says, hope all's well. Here's my show question. Mattel has come out with two fantastic Ultimate Edition figures of Hulk Hogan and Mr. T from the WrestleMania 1 time frame. That is true indeed. While these figures aren't technically from the 80s, they are the best figures I think I've seen representing that era of the WWF. Since you have collected Back to the Future and other figures similar to these, Karate Kid, Golden Girls, the Goonies, all from NECA, are you considering acquiring them and showing them off in a future episode? They seem right down the channel's alley. I don't know. The Mattel, has done some fantastic stuff with their retro line. And I collected them very early. I collected Jakks Classic Superstars. And then I sold them all. Many. Sold them all. And then when Mattel started putting out theirs, I started buying the first couple series. The tag teams, I remember the Rockers, Sheik and Volkov, and the Bushwhackers, I think. And then like Piper and Orton. Maybe the Rockers weren't a part of it. Piper and Orton, I remember getting. And they were great, but... And they're great. The Mr. T figure's great. The Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 1 figure's great. There's a new Ultimate Edition Hogan coming out with the 1985 championship belt, which I might get just for the belt. The problem is I don't have anywhere to put them. I don't. And they're like $30 a piece. And so $60 for Hogan and T. To maybe just sit somewhere, on a stand. They certainly wouldn't get their own shelf. So I don't think so. I don't think so. They also did a Hogan and Zeus no holds barred, like VHS tape replica set. Looks incredible. Gets me all excited. But then I realize that I can't. I don't have the room, and the passion is just not there for these new Mattel figures. They're just not there. And so that's why, like, all these new figures coming out, all these, the Hasbro remakes that, like, some toy company is doing, Dino Bravo, and I don't know. It's like it's a fan that's just making figures. I think it's a toy company fan, so it's got backing behind it, and it's the real deal. And they look like Hasbro's, but they're making like Blue Meanie and guys like that. I don't care. I think I really told myself something when I didn't go nuts about the WWF retro figures, the Hasbro styled figures from Mattel. And now they've got, like I said, Mean Gene and Junkyard Dog and Stud and Volkov. On paper, I should be going nuts about those, but I'm not. Even the Walmart figures, the AWA style figures, they got Hogan, like Bray Wyatt, Honky Tonk Man, I think is in a series, and they have the cloth clothing. You've seen them, and they're on nice retro cards. I didn't get excited about those either, so I think that's saying where I'm at in my head with this new old stuff. Yes, I bought the Karate Kid figures. Yes, I bought the Golden Girls. Yes, I buy the Friday the 13th. Back to the Future. All that. Yes. But those are displayed upstairs in like the living room, in the family area. So yeah, I don't think so. They're great. They are beautiful. But I don't think so. But thank you, Gary. All right, Gary's out. My man Matthew. Matthew has a bunch of questions. A lot of thank yous, which I appreciate. Everybody prefaces their question with some thank yous. Thanks for doing all you do and keep us grounded during the craziest of times. Look, you're keeping me grounded during the craziest of times. That's why I do this. By the way, my tattoo guy gave me Friday the 13th, the original, and the final chapter on VHS. Sadly, I already had a Friday the 13th Part 1, but I did not have a final chapter. So now I do. Courtesy of my man Squints. Squints, the tattoo expert. Very, very well-known Rochester, New York tattooist. Squints. From a place called Physical Graffiti back in the day. Now he's got his own shop. So if you're from Rochester or the surrounding areas and you're a tattoo guy, you know Physical Graffiti. You know a fella named Gooch who owns Physical Graffiti. And you knew his partner Squints, who's now out on his own and busting up my hand, 1984 style. All right, next question from a man Matt. I don't know if you want me to give out last names or whatever, but Matt says, your new 80s dream home becomes a reality. What's on the agenda for the first weekend in the house once you've settled in? And that's a beautiful question. Beautiful question. In making this set, this living room set, I realized how shabby a house would be if I decorated it all with like Goodwill, secondhand 80s stuff. Maybe not true. I did this all in 5 days. I think I would take a little bit more time and have a little bit of fan support, a little bit of help locating items from around the country, but if I was to do it from like just going to Goodwill, I think I'd have some marred up, nicked up, broken stuff. But anyway, that's not the question. He says, if I had the 80s house, what would be my first item? What would my first weekend look like? And I'll tell you. I wouldn't be going anywhere, that's for sure. I would order I guess I'm jumping right till nighttime. And then I'll do like a Friday night, Saturday morning. Friday night would consist of a Pizza Hut pizza, a 2-liter of Coke or Pepsi, I haven't decided which. If I had the 80s house and the 80s kitchen, I would have the red Pizza Hut glasses. So those would be filled with Coke or Pepsi and some ice cubes, of course. And I'd have a pizza. I'd have a Pizza Hut pizza. I would climb into the 80s couch, and I would probably play some Atari. I'd probably play a little Nintendo. And then I'd settle in for probably 2 VHS movies. One, I think, a horror movie. The other, I think, just a classic 80s, John Hughes style movie. I would stay up and watch the 11 o'clock news, because that's what you did. And I think I'd go to bed. And then Saturday morning when I woke up, I would certainly pour the bowl of cereal, sit in front of the television and watch a run of cartoons. This is all stuff I possess, so I don't need a cartoon channel to do it. I could do it. Watch the cartoons, and I don't know, maybe hit up McDonald's for lunch. But it would be television centered. It would be VHS centered. It would be like 80s food centered, food that gave me vibes from the 80s. So Pizza Hut and McDonald's, certainly on the list. It would be a movie television deal. That's that's what I would do on my first weekend in the 80s house. He says, what are your thoughts? Okay, let me do this one second, because I love this. Or let me do this one last, because I love this question. He says, you're transported back in time and can attend one wrestling event ringside of your choosing. Which one are you headed to? I guess the easy answer would be, WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, Pontiac Silverdome, Hogan. But I feel like that's too easy, right? I feel like that's the go-to answer for everybody. So because I grew up really just exposed to the WWF, I feel like I got the vibe of those shows, those live shows, from watching it anyway on television, right? I feel like I picked up the vibe, right? But I've never felt the vibe of like an NWA Dark Arena Starrcade type show. Starrcade 83, Starrcade 84, 85. Where there's less glitz and glamour, less hubbub, if you will, less, national exposure type stuff. I feel like Missy, come here, go away from the camera. I feel like ESPN would cover, WrestleMania 3, and it would just be Hollywoody. So honestly, I'd like to go feel what it was like to be a wrestling fan, to be an NWA fan, and sit in the atmosphere of like a Starrcade 85. I would definitely choose 85. I think Starrcade 85 is when it became bigger for the first time. I think Starrcade 85, and that's a strange answer, but I want to feel the NWA style arena big show atmosphere. I want to feel that. So Starcade 85. For that reason, the reason I just gave you. And a question that now has just got me thinking. What are your thoughts on a potential New 80s friend of the channel meetup at some point? Not sure if this could be centered around a con or its own separate outing, but it could be fun. Look, that question has got me buzzing. Thank you, Matthew. That would be incredible, and it's not. I mean, look, you know, bigger channels do this kind of thing, right? Where the YouTube person is, you know, more of a celebrity status. And in fact, you know, some of these smaller conventions bring in YouTube celebrities to be guests of their conventions. But that's, you know, that's not this channel. This channel is a close-knit family, right? I don't want to stand behind a table like a big shot and, you know, sign off your autographs and pose for your photos. That's silly. I only make, you know, $89 a month off this channel. We're not there yet. So a meetup would be great if we could figure out how to pull it off. I mean, I'm in Rochester, New York. I'm in upstate New York. And yes, there are a lot of conventions in this part of town, or the eastern part of, you know, the country, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, even Maryland, you know, that sort of deal. There's big shows, so you know there would be reason for people to come out, and I think it would work at a con if we got enough people to agree to go to, you know, Monster Mania in Baltimore or something, Chiller in New Jersey. Even Steel City Con in Pennsylvania, and then just, you know, kind of gather up a crew and have a hangout, you know, where we actually had a spot or took over a couple of rooms in a hotel and just hung out, you know, partied it up and met and talked and, you know, did the thing. That would be cool. You know, I don't know how to navigate that. You know, we'd really have to seriously start talking about it and getting commitments from people, which is hard. But even if it ended up being like 5 guys that got together, that's kind of all I can handle. I mean, I don't know what to do with like 50 people that want to hang out with me. I wouldn't know how to manage that. So even if we got a small crew of loyals who just, you know, wanted to do it, I would do it. I mean, the you know, the only thing I'm going to in the next couple of weeks is the Camp Crystal Lake tour. That's next Saturday. I'm super pumped about that. It's only a week away. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, you know, would you do it? Let's think about it. Let's think about it. The dogs are going nuts. Life's Toy Department. Good guy. I think the children are home. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to probably go greet them, and because they're just gonna come down here. All right, we'll get to the next set of questions right now. Probably about an hour for me, but right now for you guys. All right, children are home. Had to run out to McDonald's and get them their Friday night din-din. Right? It's not Friday night pizza night, unfortunately. We've all been running around like crazy today. It's Friday night McDonald's night. Let's stop the show now and update you on my existence, my life. I am currently obsessed with getting, yeah, I've never talked about this. This has nothing to do with the 80s. But I'm currently racking my brain on how to get the perfect edge in my lawn. You know how the lawn, the sidewalk comes up to the lawn and stuff. And sometimes the lawn grows over the sidewalk and it's ugly and horrible. And, so I want that nice crisp edge. And yeah, I know you're supposed to turn your weed whacker over and go that way. I can't do it. I can't do it. It looks like I'm blind, trying to do it. It looks horrible. It's horrible. And so I bought a like an electric edger today, like with the blade. I bought it from a garage sale for a few bucks, no big deal. And it's a plug-in, which drives me nuts. And it doesn't work. It's not good. The blades aren't sharp, or it just doesn't. It's not powerful enough to give me this sharp edge that I want. So that I just go back to caveman days, and I bought a spade, and I'm just doing it myself. I'm just nice, That's what you tuned in to. But hey, it's the Power Hour, right? It's people wanted this show to happen again. People wanted longer shows, right? I get all kinds of messages and comments from people that say we need longer shows. People in particular are saying, I fall asleep to the new 80s revolution, right? And give me a 45-minute show so I can drift off to sleep. And I get that. I do the same thing. I do the same thing at night. I usually listen to like Blu-ray collectors and movie reviewer guys. I usually listen to them and just drift off to sleep. A couple of like live shows, live Q&As from a couple of people that I watch. I'll drift off to that. Yeah. There's a guy who repairs and cleans like old VCRs and old televisions and Nintendos. I'll put that on and fall asleep to that as well. So I understand, wanting my voice to lull you to sleep. I can understand that. I have a beautiful voice. So I get it. So here you go. Here's your show. So that's why we talk about edging our lawn. Getting that perfect crisp edge on your lawn. Obsessed with it. But I think the spade is working. I'm really getting a nice, but it's going to take a while. It's labor intensive. So I'm going to finish it tomorrow. And then give it a, and then you got to rake and pick up all the clippings from the spade, and then I gotta mow, and then I gotta clean it up with the weed whacker a little bit. But yeah, okay, I pretty much gave you all the hand gestures. All right, so from Rad Zone, Life's Toy Department, he says you've talked a lot about creating an 80s house. Yes, it is a thing. And I know you did a video on your favorite elements of 80s home decor. I share the same passion for the warm feeling of a true 80s home. That is so hard to explain what that feels like. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not going to get it. That's why when I did a show, Whatever Happened to Nighttime, some of you got it. Many of you got it, which is why you are friends of the channel. You got it. Others were like, what are you talking about? Whatever Happened to Nighttime. They're not friends of the channel. I was made fun of for buying night clothing by some idiot, made fun of me for wanting to select comfortable night gear. Yes, made fun of. So you get it. You get when we say the warmth of an 80s home and how difficult it is to recreate in 2022. So he says, so with that being said, which 80s TV or movie home would you most love to live in? He gives me some suggestions. Family Ties, Growing Pains, E.T., Pee-wee's Playhouse. great question. Great question. And I'm telling you, it's almost like when I'm watching a show, when I'm invested in a show, that's the house that I would choose. So I was just watching, I finished The Golden Girls last year. And I said I would love to live in the Golden Girls house, but that's a different vibe. That's not an 80s warmth family vibe. There's so many great houses. The Family Ties house is a great house. Absolutely. The Who's the Boss house is a great house, what else? What other shows do we got? I don't know. They're escaping me. But I got the answer. I have the answer because I'm watching this show right now. You've heard me talk about it. I'm watching the show right now. And it's the house, it's the family that I want too. It's the house that I would live. The Growing Pains house is fantastic. Go watch at least an episode of The Growing Pains, early episodes. First couple of seasons. I don't think the house changes much, but the first couple of seasons, and it is such a perfect. The Full House is a great house. Great feeling in that house too. But the Seavers home on Growing Pains is, all of their rooms are awesome. We get to see the kitchen. I love the layout of their kitchen. I love the family vibe of the kitchen. Their living room is just awesome and warm and comfortable. We get some shots of the bedrooms. We do get to see the parents' bedrooms, but Mike Seaver's bedroom is just such a great 80s teenage boy bedroom. This is so silly, but it's the house that I would like to watch Saturday night's main event in. Yeah. How about that for a deep dive? The house that I would like to watch Saturday night's main event in. Just like when I hooked up this TV area that I showed you in the room tour, I am going to watch a Saturday night's main event down here on this television at 11:30 on a Saturday night when I get to it in the 1985 wrestling that I'm watching. Wrestling with the Past is coming soon. I did the first episode of Primetime, and then I stopped. So I've watched January 5th Maple Leaf Wrestling, and now I'm watching January 5th Championship Wrestling, and I'll probably do two episodes per show. I think 3 is too much of a stretch, especially when we get into the house shows. So I'll probably do 2 at a time. So I've got a couple of episodes of Maple Leaf Wrestling and Championship Wrestling to review, both January 5th, 1985. The Growing Pains house. The Growing Pains house. Growing Pains has catapulted itself into my favorite shows list. I love the Growing Pains house. On a completely unrelated style, I would love to have lived in the Dallas Ranch. JR and Bobby, the Ewing's Ranch. I would love to have lived on the ranch. Yes, that is awesome too. Okay, so that's Life's Toy Department. Thanks so much for the questions. My friend Jackie says, "Hi, buddy. My question is, will we see more XOX Customs? And have you been watching AEW?" Well, yes, of course, Jackie. We will see an XOX Custom probably in the next couple of weeks. They are releasing a figure that we have all wanted, a figure that we have all wanted to see redone. Little clue there for you. And I think it's going to be a big seller, and we're going to run a contest for it because I think at least 15 of you are going to jump on this figure because we've all wanted it. We all want this guy. We got this guy, but we don't like this guy, but we're getting him. So that's coming soon. And she says, "Do I watch AEW?" Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It is a family tradition. We watch AEW live on Wednesdays, and usually DVR'd on Fridays. So we watch Dynamite live and we watch Rampage sometimes live. Most of the time we watch it on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon or something like that. But yeah, we've gone to, we went to the last Dynamite in Rochester TV taping. Liam and I went to the first Dynamite. We've gone to 2 live Dynamites. Great experience, great meet and greets, very, very great. Great. I love AEW. It's, revitalized my interest in the modern product. So AEW's done great. My man Upstate Johnny, who's always good for about 738 questions. We'll get through a few of these, and then we'll save them for the next round. He says, do you see yourself staying in the town you currently live? Same house? Aspirations of moving? Or is this the spot? That's that dribbles a little bit into, the current state of the personal life. I don't know. And I'll text Upstate Johnny and let him know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm always going to live in this house. I don't know. I know I'm going to live in this house for several more years, but I don't know if I'll always live in this house. Next question. If LJN didn't exist or any wrestling-related toys, what line would you have gone for? I think if wrestling figures didn't exist, probably depends on the era. Wrestling, I got into wrestling in 84, the figure's 85, but right around that time, G.I. Joe was at least an important cartoon in my life, and that line was so vast, I think I probably would have thrown myself head on into the G.I. Joe line. If wrestling didn't exist, I think it would have opened up the door of opportunity for all these other toy lines to have a chance in my life that didn't because of wrestling. So I think I would have been a bigger fan of the Ghostbusters figures. I think I would have been a bigger fan of maybe Mask. Whatever had a cartoon, I think would have been huge. But I think G.I. Joe would have been the one I dove headfirst into. Turtles certainly would have been bigger in my life. I was a little older, but possibly. Joe's for sure, but nothing had a chance. Nothing had a chance to live. Let's see. We'll save another toy related question. I scrolled through these, and he says, I want to get to this one, and then we'll wrap up the show, and I'll tell you how to be a part of this. Could you physically and would you mentally still have a go at sliding head first into second or legging out a double? Or are those days officially behind you? Okay, so he's asking, mentally and physically, could I slide head first into second base after legging out a double? I'll say yes. Mentally, oh my goodness. I think the adrenaline, so I'm thinking softball, right? I'm not playing, fast pitch baseball. But if I was playing on the fellas softball league and, there was some beverages being consumed during the softball league, or maybe even if it was like a fun co-ed league and I was maybe one of the better players on the league, the adrenaline of the game the liquid courage that flows in between innings, the opportunity to be a show-off, yes, all of those factors would make me run faster and slide head first. Now, could I do it in the backyard with my kid? No. I've found myself not even being able to really dive on a slip and slide anymore. We have a slip and slide, and my kids, you know, we have a pool, so they don't really play with it, but we busted it out like last year or something, and of course, you know, Dad comes out with the Dawn dish soap and soaps it all up. But I found myself not like laying out on that thing like I used to. I almost feel like 220 pounds coming crashing down on my chest would break a few ribs, I think. Or at least that's how I feel. But that's in the backyard. There's no adrenaline pumping. You know, there's nobody to show off for. There's not a, you know, relive my athletic, you know, highlight reel. It's just a slip and slide with your kids. But if I was, again, caught up in the game, yes. Would it look good? I don't know. I don't think it would look good. It might be a little lumbering, but I would go for it, and I think that I would be hurt. I think I'd slide. I think I'd give the old timeout. I think I'd get up and brush my stuff off, and then I think I'd vomit. And I think I would cry all night about like, oh, you know, my chest hurts. You know, it'd be all red and scratched up from the, you know, the gravelly infield of a, you know, men's softball field. But could I? Yes. Only because of the big time feel of the game. All right. That's that. I don't know how long we went. Hopefully, I don't know. This will be I can't see since the cameras. Let's take a look. This one went, what, 18 minutes? Oh, the first one probably went about 18 minutes too. So we probably hit 36 minutes. We probably haven't had a full 45. Let's keep going with Upstate Johnny. He says, well, let's put another. Let's see. First actress crush. Great question. I've had a ton. First one, if I'm remembering correctly, would be Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss. I mean, she is and was and is incredible. But as a kid, again, these questions, you know, I'm speaking it, and then I'm going to go, whoa, you know, you're closer to 50 than 40, fella, and you're talking about, you know, a 12-year-old here. As a kid, 12-year-old me or 10-year-old me was very, very, very in love with Alyssa Milano. I think that she was quite perfect back then and aged wonderfully, I can say. I guess I liked Winnie Cooper, but I was a weirdo who liked the Becky Slater from The Wonder Years, right? Who's actually Winnie Cooper's real life sister. Who else? I mean, as an adult, I think like a legal-aged Mallory Keaton is gorgeous. Legal-aged, 18-year-old Mallory Keaton. As an adult, I've had a more of an appreciation for her. I mean, I had a crush on Marsha Brady. Even like, you know, from then, you know, in the later episodes. But Alyssa Milano, hands down, 1 gazillion% was absolutely my first. I also had in 92, this is so obscure. In 92, I was madly in love with a gymnast named Shannon Miller, right? She was an Olympic gymnast. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what my little brain was thinking. I mean, she's, you know, she was what can I say today? I mean, looking back at her, she's like a kid. And as an adult, I mean, I've looked her up as an adult. She's okay. But as a kid, oh my goodness. As a kid, I was madly in love with Shannon Miller, one of the Olympic gymnasts. I'm just remembering the princess from The Never-Ending Story was like, you know, breathtaking. And she's in the movie for about 45 seconds. You know, say my name, Bastian, say my name. And she's very pretty today. I think she's like maybe Ukrainian of some kind. I've seen her. She's like a dancer, I think. I've looked her up because I'm a, you know, very creepy stalker. So yeah, those are the early ones. The princess from Neverending Story and Alyssa Milano, 100% hands down. And Olympic gymnast Shannon Miller. All right, so I'll do the rest of Upstate Johnny's questions next time. And get on the show. All we have left now is Upstate Johnny's questions. So if you want this series to continue, you've got to bring the questions. I can't make them up. So send me questions either in the comments section of this video or through text if you have that information, through email at TN80R questions@gmail.com. TN80R questions@gmail.com. And fire them away. Anything you want. Personal, professional, toys, 80s. You know, why don't I like toenails? Why do I think they should be surgically removed? Ask me. All right. That's that. The show doesn't exist without you, so get on the show if you want a video question. If you want me to insert your question into this video, get a video question to me somehow. All right, that's that. Thanks for watching, everybody. TN80sR Power Hour. Good night, everybody who's sleeping to this. We'll see you in the morning. Rest well. Good night now.